come on in to Married at First Sight, season 16, episode 12. And my name is Deborah, and I'm going to be doing individual recaps on all the individual couples. So be sure to drop down in the comments, like, subscribe, and comment on this video. And at the end of this video, check out above my head. There'll be links to all the individual videos and you can watch them all. So let's move on to Airris and Jasmine. And oh boy, we were 24 days before decision day. 24 days before decision day. And Dr. Pepper is just now coming to talk to Airris. 24 days before decision day. And Dr. Pepper is just now talking to Airris, trying to break his code of how he's a robot, still talking to dead people. And then we waited all this time for Dr. Pepper to come, only for her to tell Jasmine she needs to do more work. And then what did she say at the end? A girl, you got your work cut out for you. This is horrible. This is horrible. This is like calling a 911 and the lady on the opposite end says, well, maybe you ought to Google CPR. We ain't gonna send nobody to help you keep your loved one alive. Just Google CPR and call us back and let us know how you doing. This was absolutely horrible. I told y'all that Airris's problems was wrapped up around all these dead people from the father. We found out it's more than the father now. It's cousins, it's friends. And let me tell you, just true to Airris's form, I'm gonna get into a little bit later on, but I gotta mention it right here at the top. True to Airris's form, did you see how he described his friend that committed suicide? Did you hear how he described his emotions, his selfish emotions, how angry he was at the person, and how he just now had to start to forgive him because he called his friend who committed suicide selfish? I know that being angry is part of the grieving process when someone in your life commits suicide. I've known someone to commit suicide. I know how you might feel, that feeling of being upset that they didn't reach out to anyone, that they took these measures. I get it. But after that, you're supposed to move on to grief. You're supposed to move to the next level of emotion, which is grief. Anger is a very low level emotion, people. Very low level. When you are in anger mode, let me tell you, you're not expressing or practicing any type of real emotional intelligence, because anger is a feeling that babies feel. Babies. You see your baby when they get mad and they throw a temper tantrum at 2 years old because they can't really get in touch with their real feeling is, their real emotions. They can't express themselves. So here you have a 40-year-old man talking about when someone he supposedly loved killed himself, all he could talk about is his anger. What about your grief, Airris? What about your grief? See, herein is the problem with Airris. He doesn't know how to feel. He doesn't know how to feel. He didn't even know how to feel a grief. And he was sitting up here talking about this dead friend of his, talking about how selfish his friend was and how could he do that to people. And I had to spend all these years learning to forgive him. Well, you never learned how to grieve his death. You spent so much time being angry. You never learned how to grieve. That's why we hear now when Dr. Pepper, the psychologist or whatever she is, she realizes the job is even too big for her. And she tells Jasmine, girl, you got a big job on your hands. I tell you, I really don't like Airris. I cannot believe he's 40 years old and has this little bit of emotional intelligence. And he realizes that maybe his problems are wrapped up in dead people, but he's still running around with necklaces of dead people on his neck, keeping all that energy around him. He needs a cleanse. He needs a cleanse. He needs therapy, a cleanse, hypnotherapy. Jasmine, pack your bags. Girl, pack your bags. If this was in real time, I might drive down to Tennessee and pick Jasmine up myself and get her out of there. And then her mama came on this show giving some bad advice, but I suspect Jasmine didn't even tell her the whole story. She probably just told her mama the part where he didn't want to sleep with her. Jasmine was probably too embarrassed and too ashamed to say that this man talks about that he's not even attracted to her. And this week, Airris added some more things to the list that he needs from Jasmine. He needs her to open up. He's just now saying 2 words about some of his thoughts deep down inside. And now all of a sudden Jasmine's the problem, or she won't open up. He added a couple of things to the list. Now he said, now Jasmine needs to show us what we have in common. Jasmine needs to do this. Jasmine needs to do that. Jasmine needs to do this. I'm angry at all these people. I'm angry over here at my friend. I'm angry at my mama. I'm angry at my daddy. I'm angry, angry, angry. 2-year-old emotions, never went deeper, unintelligent emotionally. The list goes on. He got a list for Jasmine and I got a list for him. But let me start from the beginning of this whole episode, because in the beginning of the episode, he supposedly brings a Jasmine some flowers. And Jasmine's not impressed. Thank you, Airris. Jasmine's like, these flowers ain't making up for nothing. You ever have a fight with your husband or somebody? It'd be a big fight, and they gonna come home and bring you some flowers, and you be like, oh, this ain't gonna make it up. This is not gonna make it up. This is a drop in the bucket in terms of what you're gonna need to do to make it up to me. Some flowers? After living with you all this time, Airris, you think flowers is gonna do it? You want me to praise you and cheer you on because you brought me home some flowers? It's probably dead flowers. Probably a dead flowers. We didn't even see them doggone flowers. Airris talking about, oh, I'm so happy Dr. Pepper's coming because I'm interested in hearing what she has to say in order to help us. You should have been interested in what a therapist would say before you got on this show. That's when your interest in therapist should have started. It shouldn't have started when you got on here. Was this all a way to get some free therapy, Airris? Was this the way to get some free therapy? Because you really should have thought about what a therapist might say about you before you signed up on this show. Come to find out, the only reason he signed up because he thought it could cure him. He knew he was jacked up. He knew he was jacked up from the beginning. And all he did was come on this show to use a woman to try to cure him. He knew he couldn't stick with a woman, just like Felina said. He knew he wasn't ready. But instead of doing the real work, the hard work, and going to a therapist, what he decided to do was to put it on someone else. I told you guys that this is what Airris does. You talk about his friend is selfish. He's calling his friend who committed suicide selfish. You're selfish, Airris. You're selfish for coming on this show, showing up here with all this non-emotional intelligence and unintelligent emotional capacity and putting all the work on some new bride you might have, Jasmine or anyone else. You talk about selfish. You selfish. And you are the most selfish person I've seen on this show for a while. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting off track. Every time Airris opens his mouth in my head, I feel like I just want to pounce on him. I know if he was here, he wouldn't get a word out, people. I would be chewing him out. He'd be like, dang, you ain't even listen to me. No, I wouldn't listen. I don't want to listen to Airris. I really don't want to listen because everything comes out his mouth is foolishness. Foolishness. He talking about all the women in the world solve all the problems. Once again, people, he tries to act like he's giving compliments, but he's not giving compliments. What he's trying to tell you is he relies upon women to do all the work in his life, period. That's what he's trying to tell you. When he's sitting up there complimenting, oh, most things are done by women of the world. They get most things done, this and that. And that's exactly what he likes to say, because in the end, who has Airris depended on to get probably everything done in his life? He probably depended on his mama. He probably depended on that girl, Felina. That's why she's all mad that he was getting a new wife, because she's probably done things for him in the past. He depends on Felina. He depends on these random women to give him sex whenever he wants to. And now he's coming into this marriage depending on Airris. Now he's coming into this marriage depending on Jasmine to heal him of his mental, of all his mental issues. Like I told you, Airris is selfish and lazy. And now you know who he likes to do all his work, women. He likes to count on women to do all of his work for you. Like I said, where's the list, women? Stay away from him, stay away from him, stay away from him. And here is Dr. Pepper. He's like, I'm happy she's coming. So what? So another woman can do your work for you? Boy, I'm so tired of Airris. I am really tired of Airris, people. Tired. And poor Jasmine, she said, I'm ready for her to come now because I'm ready to lay it out. I'm ready to lay it out on the table. I am fed up. Jasmine is fed up. She giving him all them black girl looks. Rolling of the eyes, rolling the neck, one word answers. She's like, I'm not doing no more work with you. I'm not answering any more questions. Even later on in the episode, when they start doing that little fishbowl, all Airris was doing was asking her questions. Well, when she didn't answer Airris, why didn't you answer the question? Why didn't you turn around and give some insight, some information? Why did you just keep going on and on and on until she gave an answer that you wanted to hear or she opened her mouth? Why couldn't you take the lead? He talking about he don't know how to lead no family. You right, you don't know how to lead no family. You don't even know how to lead a discussion. Not only do you not know how to lead a family, or you don't know how to lead a discussion. Let me tell you, Jasmine was so fed up with Airris. You know who else is fed up with Airris? A Duchess the dog. She chewed up his shoe. Duchess was the only person getting the lick in. I hope it was a limited edition Jordan. I really do hope that Duchess went in that closet and said, what is the most expensive tennis shoe in this closet? And this is the one I'm going to chew up. Thank you, Justice. Give me a high five on that, Justice. At least somebody got a lick in on him. Poor Jasmine talking about, here I am married to a man triggering me. I just now got to this point where I feel good about myself, getting my self-esteem up, trying to love on myself, self-care. There are a lot of women at Jasmine's age are going through these types of things. And can you imagine going through years and years and years of getting your self-esteem together, and then you get married to a man that tells you he ain't attracted to you? And every time you turn around, he's telling you some new reason why he's not attracted, because you don't have a vibe, because you don't have a big booty. Now he's talking about because she don't want to have deep conversations. You know what? Airris is probably going to start chasing Jasmine now, because you know what he knows? He knows that Jasmine don't give a damn no more. He now knows that Jasmine don't give a damn. And so now he's going to feel more comfortable. He was uncomfortable when he thought she might like him, when she might fall in love with him. But now that he knows she don't give a damn, I guarantee you he's going to start doing some work now, because now he ain't scared. Now there ain't nothing at risk, because he wants to now he can go ahead, because he's not worried if she going to start liking him or not. He's so backwards. He is so backwards. Jasmine talking about, here I am trying to talk to young girls, trying to encourage them how to grow up and have good self-esteem and, care about themselves and do what they want to do and all this other kind of stuff, empowerment, everything else. And I'm sitting over here not practicing none of that in this doggone marriage. And when Jasmine was sitting up there giving this whole sad story, girl, I almost wanted to cry. I felt really bad for her. I'm telling you, I really wanted to run in and rescue Jasmine. I really wanted to run in and rescue her. And this man is sitting up there like a bump on a log, or like a robot. He didn't even reach over and hold her hand, give her no warm and hug and kiss. He sat there with a blank stare on his face, nothing in his eyes. He ain't got a feeling in his soul. Nothing. He was probably sitting over there thinking, I hope they don't turn this on me. I hope she don't start asking me no questions. He could care less about Jasmine's emotions, because he don't even know how to care about nobody's emotions. Even his friend who died, he never talked about how his friend might have felt the fact that person committed suicide. All he could talk about was his doggone anger towards his friend, and talking about how I'm just now getting over it. Ugh. I hope that friend comes back and haunts him from the dead. I know that was mean to say, but I hope he does. Ugh. Can't stand Airris. Can't stand him. What did Michelle Obama say? When they go low, we go high? I'm sorry, Michelle Obama. I am going low. I'm so low right now, and I'm all the way down in hell. Let me pull myself out, people. Airris got me low in the dirt. Low. Jasmine over here talking about she feel like she all alone in this marriage. She don't even know if it makes sense to open up anymore. It doesn't make sense, Jasmine. It does not make sense. This is too heavy of a lift for you. This is not the kind of work you should be doing at your age with a person. It's not the kind of work you should be doing when you married a stranger. Absolutely not. You were dealt a bad hand. Don't feel bad. Don't let any of your religious teachings about divorce or anything like that get the best of you and make you stay in the marriage with this man. Absolutely not. Because let me tell you, there is no guarantee that he's ever going to get over any of this. You know what? People can improve, but you don't know the amount of improvement Airris needs to do. It still wouldn't be satisfactory. Jasmine needs to cut her losses and move on. Cut her losses and move on. I know her father's a preacher and her parents been married for 30 years. So they probably going to try to push her to stay in this marriage. Even that mama over there, I don't know, that was some bad advice telling Airris that maybe you guys ought to sleep together because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Like you better have some sex before somebody dies. I don't know what she was talking about. That was some bad advice that mama gave. And let me tell you, I don't know if she gave that because Jasmine fed her not the complete story. I'm suspecting that Jasmine didn't tell her the whole story. So I'm going to give that mama a pass because I think that mama really does love her daughter. But knowing what we know, that advice that mama gave, the way she was talking to Airris was some bad advice. She should have been ripping into him. She shouldn't have been over there coddling him, telling him what Jasmine needs to do and how Jasmine needs to open up more. No, everybody is sitting over here giving Airris a pass. Like he ain't got to do no work. And now he's the leader. Now he's the emotional leader in the relationship. You got to be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me, people. Even when Dr. Pepper was talking to Airris, talking to Jasmine, and Jasmine is spilling out her guts, and Airris is over there looking at the blank white wall, looking out into space, robot Airris. Dr. Pepper said one thing right to Jasmine. Have you ever thought about that it's not about you? Bingo. Bingo. That right there was probably how Dr. Pepper earned her whole check. Pointing out to Jasmine, have you ever thought that none of this is about your big booty and a smile? None of this is about how you dress. None of this is about having swag. None of this is about any of this. None of it. And Jasmine looked there and said, I never thought about that. Thank you. Thank you. None of this is about any of this. This is all about Airris. And that's when Airris' eyes got all big. Like, oh my God, it's about to get turned on me. They found me out. They found me out. There's an alien in our midst. They done discovered me. So finally, Dr. Pepper has to break it down to Airris and say, do you ever think that all these dead people in your life might be the reason why you don't like to get close to people? You ever thought about that, Airris? You ever thought about the fact that this ain't nothing to do with Jasmine? It has to do with all these dead people in your life that you are still clinging to, that you're still harboring anger for, that you still keeping around your neck and keeping obituaries on your desk. You ever think it has something to do with that? That you like to have non-emotional sex, R&B videos, porn. You ever think about that? Get down on your knees. What's your favorite sexual position? Even when Airris is giving examples to Jasmine's mother about I like to go deep, but Jasmine doesn't. He can't even come up with no good example. He starts to use talking about what's your favorite color. What? That's an example you want to give us of how you wanted to go deep, but Jasmine didn't know how to go deep. And you said when she asked your favorite color, you said blue. Probably is blue, melancholy blue, because that's what you are. Sad. Sad. Probably ain't no vibrant blue. It's probably a melancholy, a sad blue. Like this rainy weather we got out here in California. That's probably what he is. Sad, dreary, a blue. Blue-gray. Let's be honest, there ain't no blue, it's blue-gray. And he talking about, well, I go deep into why I like the color blue. And Jasmine just said she likes pink. Oh my God, he's so ignorant. He's so ignorant. This is your example of going deep. This is the example you want to give us. This is the best example you can give us when you went deep and she didn't. It's your colors, that's your favorite color. I can't stand them people. I keep telling you I can't stand them. I can't stand them. So Dr. Pepper finally has to break it down and say, you ever think that you running from your emotions, you running from love, you running from connections? Yes. God, I've been saying it all a season long. Stevie Wonder could have seen this. Yes, he's running from his emotions. He's scared. Just like he said, he finally started to put the pieces together. Oh, well, baby, I'm scared to get emotions because anyone I get close to, they die. Exactly. So he was liking Jasmine in the beginning, but then when he started to realize that maybe I could get close to her, he was like, oh, I better run away from her because then she could die. So let me start figuring out reasons of my excuse of running, because I can't really tell people the reason I'm running is because I'm all messed up inside. I got to start talking about things like vibes and big booties and the fact that you don't wear no sneakers. I'm so glad Duchess ate up that sneaker. Good for you, Duchess. Duchess probably said, you want to talk about my mama and how she needs some sneakers in order for you to feel attracted to her? Well, I'm going to chew up these damn sneakers. Good for you, Duchess. Duchess is the MVP of this whole episode. The MVP. These dogs are sick of these people. Duchess is sick of Airris. And when we get to Clint Gina, Hank is sick of Gina. I can't believe after this whole little therapy session, Dr. Pepper looked over at Jasmine and said, girl, you got your work cut out for you. You got a lot to excavate. What? What the heck? The therapist looked over at Jasmine, who's only been a wife for 30 days, talking about, girl, you got your work cut out for you and you got a lot to excavate. She ain't no archaeologist. She ain't gonna be over here digging up no dead bones. Jasmine, girl, pack your bags, pack up Duchess and get the heck out of there. Get the heck up out of there now. Now, does Jasmine have some things she need to work through in terms of communication? She probably does. Everybody comes into a relationship needing something to work on. So I'm not going to harp on Jasmine too much because her issues in communications are not so severe that they're worse than Airris's. Because in the beginning, Jasmine was communicating. She was communicating. I understand where it comes from because, like she said, she never really saw her parents argue. And she believes that's why she doesn't like to have confrontation and arguments. A lot of that I can relate to. That's also part of my own personal history. I had to learn that arguments and working things out, you need to do that because what parents, I don't know, if y'all got kids, you definitely shouldn't be afraid of letting your kids see you argue. But what they say is you also have to let your kids see you work out the solution. Like the kids should see the whole entire process. They should see not only where maybe you disagree with your spouse, but maybe where you argued or went back and forth. Nothing real toxic now. Come on now. But then also how you came together, found a solution, worked it out, because then that shows your kids the whole entire process. And so what Jasmine is saying she missed out on, she not only missed out on when the problems arose, she also missed out on learning how to solve the problems within the marriage because she didn't see that. And she didn't see the process that goes through. So when she experiences it in her own relationship, she's afraid of it. She's uncomfortable with it. She doesn't know how to do it. But let me tell you, her issues that she will need to work out are nowhere near the problems of Airris. Airris over here, you got to be darn near, like Dr. Pepper said, an excavator, an archaeologist going here and digging up dead bones of dead people and retracing the history of these dead bones and with Airris. The burden is too heavy. The burden is too heavy. Jasmine's checked out. She is checking out just like when Airris was asking her those questions. Finally, she said, well, why don't you go first? He up here peppering her with questions. Why don't you go first? You so busy talking about you ready to go deep now and answer some quick questions. You go first. You answer the questions. No. Even when Dr. Pepper was sitting there with Jasmine, I didn't even like the fact that Dr. Pepper made Jasmine go first. I didn't like that. Jasmine has been going first. It's time for Airris to do something. Don't be letting Airris sit up in the position to be the one to be able to listen to Jasmine's stories first and be the one to ask all the questions first. No, you go first or you do something. Forget all this stuff he's talking about everybody, all the women do all the work in the world except for Eve. She the one that messed it up. Somebody need to give him a rotten apple. Airris finally answered that last question, what worries you at the most? And she said, this marriage. Jasmine said, this marriage. I'm going to answer that. I'm going to answer that question. This marriage is what bothers me the most. Let me tell you something. You ever went out, started looking for a house to buy, and you were like, well, maybe I can buy me a fixer-upper. Maybe I'll buy me a fixer-upper house because the regular houses are too expensive. So you start looking at some other houses because a real estate agent tells you this is a fixer-upper, but you walk in the house and you go, a fixer-upper? This is a tear-down. That's Airris. Dr. Pepper is over here talking about Airris is a fixer-upper. He ain't a fixer-upper. He's not a fixer-upper. He is a tear down. Tear down to the ground, to the studs. That's what Airris needs to be. He needs to be broken all the way back down to when he was 11, and he needs to be built back up. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Anyway, I'm with Jasmine. Check out Jasmine. Check out. I don't care if at this point in Jasmine doesn't do anything. I don't care if for the last 24 days, Jasmine doesn't do anything. I'm going to be team Jasmine all the way. All of the way. Because this isn't a marriage she should stay in. Absolutely not. Not at her age. She's got too many things going for her. Too many things going for her to waste it on Airris. Too many things. And thank you, El Rami, one of my subscribers who let me know that Jasmine got her teeth fixed. The Jasmine got her teeth fixed, y'all. We knew she was going to get her teeth fixed after this show. We knew she was. She went and got her teeth fixed. And guess what? She's ready to go. She is ready to go. But it doesn't really matter because that wasn't one of the reasons why Airris didn't like her in the first place. Just like those teeth didn't prevent Jasmine from winning all them beauty contests, let me tell you, those teeth were not the reason why Airris didn't like her. She would have wound up here no matter what. But I am happy she invested in herself. She did something for herself, and she looks beautiful. She always was beautiful, but she looks even more beautiful. And I hope that it also helps her self-confidence. I really hope it helps her self-confidence as well. We saw some of the previews coming up, and we see Shaq telling her, girl, you beautiful on the inside and the outside. And Jasmine was beaming from ear to ear. Jasmine gonna get married, y'all. Jasmine is wife material. She's wife material, and she's gonna get married. I guarantee you. I trust and believe that when we start watching later episodes of Married at First Sight, Where Are They Now, whatever you want to do it, reunions, guarantee you in the next 3-4 years, whatever the case may be, Jasmine's gonna get married. She's wife material. I'm telling you, Jasmine is wife material. But that's it, y'all. Don't forget to drop down in my comments, like, subscribe this video, and I will click on these videos for my next video, and I will see you later. Bye.